Hello and welcome to another episode of Doomsday T on DC. And we're going to start off with what Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, said this week. After the box office numbers were tabulated for Shazam, I guess this was on Sunday that The Rock put out about a 4 or 5 minute video talking about how he was producer on Shazam. I don't know if people really knew that. Maybe it swirled around. I don't know if it was ever confirmed. We know that his ex-wife, I think, is his agent, and she is also Cavill's agent. So there's a lot of interesting things at play with The Rock right now, Dwayne Johnson. He talked about how I guess they were going to do this Shazam movie and maybe he was going to be the bad guy, but it was just too much to put in the movie. And so he kept saying that like they took this risk of splitting it up into two movies and having Shazam and the origin story that we got a week ago, and Rock said that they were going to start filming in about a year for the Black Adam movie. So, and we already know about it. And I think people are confused if you're not a deep dive into the Shazam world or maybe some Justice League or Justice Society. That's where my stories come from as far as Black Adam goes. I loved the early 2000s, late 2000s, or 2009, 10, whatever, Justice Society run. I always wanted to familiarize myself with those characters, and that I felt like that was maybe the best run for me to try to do that. And I thoroughly enjoyed those books. And I got that story, I'm pretty sure, within those JSA books of Black Adam and Kandak and his whole story with him running that country, which to me is like Iran or Egypt or Iraq or whatever, some Middle Eastern type country. But he was a Justice Society member. So, he's a good guy, kind of like started off, whatever. And it was really just his extremism. Like, he's one of those guys, kind of like Ra's al Ghul. Like, he'll do something that might be horrific for the outcome to be something good. And to make the world better, if that means killing a whole city off of people or whatever that might mean, Black Adam or Ra's al Ghul or whatever is ready to do that. So, Black Adam, if something's going on with his country, he don't care what's going on in the world. He'll go back to Kandak and solve whatever issues are going there and make sure, his people know, that they're safe and protected, and he is there even though he's out with JSA. Like I said, eventually there's some turns there and some betrayals and some extremism with Black Adam, and he's not in the JSA and he's more of a bad guy or whatever. But anyway, so that's what we're, it's a good story. And if you get the Carter Hall and Shearer or whatever, like their story in with it, where she don't know, a Carter, like our Hawkman has to win her back. Every time they reincarnate, she don't remember that they're together. And we'll see. I mean, I'm totally speculating. I have no clue, but I'm assuming that she's going to be in like the kingdom with Black Adam. And she ain't going to know Carter, Hawkman. They're supposed to be together, so he's going to have to win her over. There's going to be some deception. I mean, I'm praying that's what it is. But like I said, just to go back to what The Rock was saying, I thought it was interesting, and I don't want to say that he's the sole person to do this for sure, but um, it seems like since he's kind of been secretly involved, DC's been doing better, or what? I don't want to say. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but DC's just they're having a good run, and I really am looking forward to this Black Adam movie. Uh, Shazam was so good, and in his sequel, I mean, they're going to have to shoot that sequel quick because you don't want these kids to grow up on you. So that's what I mean. Like they need to shoot. We might get the Shazam sequel before we get to Black Adam, which whatever. What would be cool is it'd be cool to get them at the exact same time, but that ain't gonna happen. You can't have them competing against each other. But it would be cool to have them like a month apart, or 6 weeks apart, man. Oh, I would love that, and have that be a year that DC puts out 3 or 4. Give us some, man. There's years that Marvel puts out like on 4 movies. Don't get me wrong, I'll take 2 a year. Keep it up. Add us a third one, add us a fourth one in there here and there though. Um, so I mean, good choices here. Good choices. Rock. Everybody's making good choices here. Um, I'm looking forward to. I mean, I think the tones have been set, and the Rock kept using the word. This is a defining moment. This is a defining moment. Um, just a really interesting talk with him, or him giving us a talk about Shazam and about Black Adam, and we haven't got some news on that in a while, so it was good to hear it straight from the turkey's mouth or whatever, the Rock's mouth, and looking forward to it. One thing, and another thing is, I wanted to touch on something that's been coming out this week. Sorry, I got a report on the Snyder stuff because I do want the Snyder cut. I want it bad, and it come out this week that Ray Porter was Darkseid, and he basically said something like, I don't know, that he was glad that maybe this come out, and like, but he's being held to an NDA that he's going to be loyal to, which is great. But the story kind of leaked that during the history part of Justice League that it was a little bit longer, and apparently there was an Ares and Darkseid fight during that. I mean, golly, there's so much stuff that we didn't get, and like I said, some of it's not necessarily like action. I think there definitely was some action scenes that we did not get, but some of it, like I said, is Cyborg's origin and some Flash origin and those type things. I really wanted that. I think people needed that a little bit just to connect to the characters. I mean, I don't need it. I'm connected to those characters, but it might would have helped critics and other people to like the movie, to have understood the deal with Cyborg. Because, I mean, you didn't get a whole lot. I mean, you didn't get anything really about what did they mention it. I mean, I guess Silas and him talk about the car wreck maybe, and his mom, I guess a little bit. I can't even remember. It's been, even though, I mean, hey, listen, I've watched that movie 10 times at least. I can't remember though. Seems like maybe they mentioned it, but it would have been nice to have got that story and some Flash origin. Me and no Flash origin. So I don't want to go on about Snyder Cut, but there was a little bit of Snyder Cut news, and felt like I needed to report it. Well, one of the other things that was interesting is this guy Ben Schwartz. He mentioned, I guess, he wants to play Plastic Man, and how Plastic Man could be DC's Deadpool, which whatever. I mean, I get it. I get what he's saying on it. Plastic Man, of course, he has like a criminal background, and he's funny. He's shady funny. Like, I mean, it would be they've got to do a Plastic Man movie. Just it'd be pure comedy. Of course, Jim Carrey, maybe in his heyday. I mean, I would think Jim Carrey could do it now, but this Schwartz guy, I don't know, maybe whatever. It's just nice hearing people say they like to do things. I think Jack Black has mentioned about being the Penguin, and there was that guy. What's that guy's name? Oh, I don't know. There's another guy he's mentioned about being the Penguin. Yeah, it ain't like, I mean, DC has iconic characters. Those are iconic villains, and people want to play those characters. And people that know, like Plastic Man, know how funny he is and how great that he is. And something else I haven't talked about on here, and I hope I'm not just going through stuff, but I haven't talked a whole lot about the DC universe, the DC TV, and I've had it since it came out. I pre-ordered it. I think it gives me maybe a couple more months or something, but I'll probably keep it going. Titans, Titans and Doom Patrol, as much as, I mean, I love them. I love everything about them. The guy, Jason Todd, this guy makes me like Jason Todd. I was never a huge fan of Jason Todd, but this guy playing Jason Todd on the Teen Titans DC Universe TV thing, he's knocking it out of the park, man. I love this guy. And I like the guy playing Robin that's going to eventually, become Nightwing. And all of them, Starfire. The guy playing Beast Boy, love him. The girl playing Raven, love her. And it's very adult. They're both very adult. Doom Patrol is very adult. Teen Titans, very adult. Whatever. You can have your own opinion about it, whether it's too extreme or not. Whatever. I can look over certain things as long as the stories are there and certain things are there. And I mean, I like the Titans right off. The Doom Patrol episode of the Teen Titans episode might be one of the best episodes out there. The end episodes were cool. There's definitely some other good episodes, whatever. Now, Doom Patrol, I'm only a couple episodes in, and I went back and watched the second episode recently just to refresh. Because I remember Cloverton being shrunk down to the donkey and all that. And I tell you, I didn't remember Cyborg coming into that second episode as soon as he does. And I don't know if there was something that turned me off about it or what the deal was, but maybe I just had went into it and I needed a break. But anyway, I've been watching Doom Patrol again, and it is crazy wonderful. It's unique. It's critically acclaimed. Critics love it. I say it's very unique. I love it. Like I said, I love the Cyborg in it. And like I said at first, I love Ray Fisher as Cyborg. And please give me 5 Cyborg movies, solo movies, whatever. And put some people in them. Of course, I'm being extreme there, but anyway, but this kid here is a little different Cyborg. He's not the Ray Fisher Cyborg. I mean, I feel like Ray Fisher's playing him down the line, man. I mean, you can't beat better Cyborg than Fisher. So, anyway, I just wanted to mention it, and I don't know if people know. I mean, all you DC marks like me know Richardson playing, Alan Richardson playing Hawk in Titans was Aquaman in Smallville. I like this transition. I like that this guy's playing Hawk, and he's perfect, man. Him and Dove Kelly, they are perfect. Minka Kelly, first of all, she's wonderful, but hers Dove she's great on the part, great as a part. I love her wig in it, I love her hair in it. I like their origin story. I like that we got their origin story. And another thing about Titans that I like is having Donna Troy on there. And the first time that she whipped out, the lasso of truth on that show, I about lost it. I was like, holy cow. I was like, first of all, I'm a Robin fan all the way. I'm a Dick Grayson Nightwing, Robin fan. Always liked Robin as a kid. I mean, Batman and Robin were my first love. Superman and Wonder Woman after that, the Trinity. But Robin's right there to me, right there with him. And to have a Robin-led live action show to me is I love it. And to have two Robins in it, and who knows? I mean, who's to say 5 seasons in, 2, 3 seasons in, we ain't gonna have Tim Drake or whatever, Stephanie or whoever. Anyway, we'll see. I mean, I love it. We got, like I said, a Robin-led show. You got Donna Troy in it already. We've got Cyborg on Doom Patrol, and Cyborg is a loner on there. Like he'll come and go, and the Doc knew him before and knows Silas, his dad, and they've had conversation or whatever. But so it's going to be real easy, I think, for Cyborg. This kid's got it made, man. He's going to float between Doom Patrol and the Teen Titans. I hope, right? I mean, he's got to, right? We got to have Cyborg with the Titans eventually. But anyway, like I said, love the casting, love the first season. Can't wait to see where both these shows go. Doom Patrol and Teen Titans. Can't wait to see where they go. Once again, they're very adult. Don't let your children watch them. You can't. I pre-watch them for my son, and I know where all the real bad parts are and things that I don't want him to hear or see. And you can pick it apart, and he can he or she can enjoy it. But it's a little tricky, But it's so unique. Both shows are so unique. Doom Patrol's so unique, and I'm sold on it now. Now I'm episode to episode loving it. And maybe I'll do a review when I get to the end. I know how it ends and whatever, Maybe we'll do an episode on that. And, so this week we've also had speaking of Titans, we've had casting news on that show. And it's Ian Glenn has been cast as Bruce Wayne in Titans Season 2. And this guy's on Game of Thrones. And unfortunately, I'm one of those people that I've only watched about 2 or 3 episodes of Game of Thrones, and I play D&D, I love medieval stuff, love Lord of the Rings, whatever, read the books, everything. I haven't read Game of Thrones, and like I said, I got 3 episodes in, and I just stopped. Not that I didn't like it, but it definitely hadn't grabbed me yet. And I've read in a bunch of places that you've got to give it like 5 episodes, so I will. I will. But anyway, we've got the Ian Glenn cast as Bruce Wayne for Titans Season 2, so I'm looking forward to that. I like that. I got an older Bruce Wayne. I like to give it something different. One thing I wanted to add about the Darkseid Ares and the Snyder fight scene in Justice League is that was supposed to give us a hint to the New Gods movie, which they've talked about, and we apparently have a director on. But Ava DuVernay, she's the director. I'm not sure. I guess she's writing it. I saw her on a talk show like Conan or somewhere talking one time, and she talked about it, said she was a big fan. It seemed like she had some knowledge of it. So I'm looking forward to the New Gods story. I think we need it. I think it's one of those movies that you don't know that you need it, but you do. It's the movie that the movie you deserve, not the movie that you want, I guess. But anyway, the New Gods movie is just you need to establish those worlds and Darkseid's origin and Orion, Big Barda, Mr. Miracle. They talked about doing the Mr. Miracle movie, and of course having Granny Goodness, Steppenwolf, whatever. Just getting that world out there is important. So this New Gods movie, I just think, to set up a bigger universe for DC, I'd like to see it. I would like to see it for sure. Moving on to Comic Corner this week, I want to talk about the Tornado's Path. This was around 2007, I think, when it was released. I think I read it in 2008 or something. But anyway, it was the Justice League. They redid it or whatever. Like the Trinity, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, they, I guess, wanted to restart the Justice League or whatever. It had been disbanded because of all the crisis and everything that happened, and people didn't trust people and whatever. But I guess the Trinity felt like the world needed the Justice League, and I do too personally. But so they decided to pick a new Justice League, and the choices that they made at the time were unique, with like Red Arrow or well, of course, Black Canary is great, and Vixen was cool. You had Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. You had one of my favorites, Black Lightning. Of course, Hawkgirl's any Thanagarian is one of my favorites. And the first issue was about, of course, Tornado's Path is about Red Tornado and about him wanting to be more human and be able to feel and like emotions and even feel like pain, like physically. And the counter story going along this Tornado's Path is, some people don't know, born on a Monday, dead on a Tuesday, raised on a Wednesday or whatever. But Solomon Grundy, whenever he comes back, sometimes, whenever he's done, he can be manipulated. Even the heroes manipulate him some and have him on their side. But sometimes he comes back and he's mega smart. I mean, just super mega smart. And so he's super mega dangerous, because here you've got this monster, Solomon Grundy, and he's sharp as a tack. I mean, as smart as Luthor or whatever. I mean, I don't know if he's as smart as Luthor. That might be a stretch. But he's just super, super smart. Maybe he is. So it makes him harder, to kill, to beat, whatever. But in this story, I guess he's trying to find himself or whatever he's doing. But like I said, tornadoes, whatever. But there's like a brutal part in it I'll never forget. Grundy and Tornado's fighting, and Grundy like twists and breaks his arm off, and of course Tornado has spoiler alert if you haven't read it, it's super great. Please read it, by Brad Meltzer. He rips Tornado's arm off, and of course he's in like super pain because he's accomplished this change, and Grundy's like eating his arm. He's like a cannibal, like he's eating Tornado's arm. It's crazy. It's just crazy. But great book, great. That's the artwork and the story, Meltzer on the story, perfect. Love it. If you haven't ever read that Justice League of America, it's really cool. Like I said, with them picking the team, you get to go through that. The Trinity bonding, or forgiving of people and things that went on in the past, and starting a new Justice League with these particular people. It seems like Manhunter's in there and stuff, but anyway, great book, and I had to bring that up in Comic Book Corner. Great book. The other thing, or let's moving on to T's Toys this week. Just wanted to mention that the 1989 Batman. I told you the story, of course, in the first episode. I think about first time I saw that movie, I was like, Mr. Mom is Batman. I was like, no, he's not. Mr. Mom's not Batman, y'all. And Beetlejuice ain't Batman or whatever, But hated it. Hated everything about it. Black suit. I don't want to see that. But like I said, me and Mom went back, and she was like, come on, I want to see it. Let's go see it. And they'd held it over. It had finished a run, and like in August or whatever, that they let it run or something. It was a little bit later in the summer or whatever, they ran it again. At least at my theater, I think it was everywhere, and me and her went to see it again. I walked out and couldn't. I was like, why did I hate that so bad? Like, that was actually pretty good. And of course, I love this. All four of those movies to me are all the same. Like, I know there's 3 Batmans that was playing them, but those, and I know Schumacher did too. And what's his face, the dark guy? Oh, I can't think of his name. Did the other ones, but anyway, I have the toys. I still have my Michael Keaton, that Batman toy. Okay, so the Batman, his utility belt will it's like it doubles, like it overlaps. So this overlap part you can pull off, and it still looks like a utility belt, and you can like string it up on something and like let go of you can let go of the Batman figure, and then he'll retract up or whatever up to his belt again. But I got that in the Joker, and I still got it, the whole thing. I think you put the thing in his back, and like you put water in it, and you can squirt water out the tulip or whatever, the flower on his chest or whatever. Tim Burton, the director of '89 Batman, I pulled that one. Anyway, I know I got distracted, didn't I? That's what I get. Oh, but the one thing cool that I do have that I want to bring up, besides the Joker figure and the Batman figure, is I have the Batmobile from then. And I even still have it's just a plastic shielding that you just put over it. That's all it is. Of course, whenever I bought it, I thought that it was, it would fit over, it would do it itself or something, I guess, whatever I thought. But of course, they won't do that. But I love that toy. I love that Batmobile. And I love Batmobiles in general. I try to buy every kind of Batmobile that comes out because I'm stupid. And like I said, it's an unhealthy addiction to DC that I have. I might show you all next week. I hate to bring them back out, but I made a purchase of a few things that maybe I'll do it again. I'll show you next week, I guess. I can't stand it. I got show and tell, don't I? So anyway, though, I love that Batmobile. I love that toy. Just something about it. And I do love that Batman, that Keaton, and that Jack Nicholson Joker figure too. You need those movies. It was a good start for Batman in theater. I mean, I know the Adam West one was a good start too, but it's a little different tone, whatever. A little more gritty, for that time. It was definitely gritty for that time, and that was Burton's deal. And the second one I used to hate Batman Returns. I shouldn't get into this. I'm sure I'll do a video on it eventually. But watched it whenever Titus, remember my kid was younger. I watched it with him. He fell asleep. He don't even know as well. He was a baby. He don't know. But I couldn't believe how comic book-ish it was in some of the shots. And it was more comic book-ish than the first one. Some of those shots, like in Selena's apartment, I love the neon signs that hell was here, and it was like hotel whatever. I can't remember. Great, cool thing there. Foreshadowing or whatever at the time, or I don't even know if it was foreshadowing at the time. But anyway, there was just shots that were very comic bookish in her apartment and her as Catwoman, and she's been the best Catwoman, I think. I just think she's wonderful. DeVito's depiction was so dark and gritty that, like I said at first, I couldn't hardly stomach him, man. He bites that guy's nose, and he bites that fish, and he's just, he's so gross and whatever, but DeVito knocked it out of the park. I mean, he did. I said, the only thing that gets me about some of these movies sometimes is like, at the end of it, like Christopher Walken playing a bad guy's cool. Anyway, but Batman rips off the mask and shows you who he is and all that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Batman ain't gonna rip off his mask. I just remember, there was just a few things about that movie that I was just like, don't do that, please. Don't do that. But overall, like I said, going back and watching the movie a second time, or not a second time, probably 5, 6, 7, 8 times, however many times I've watched it over the years. But to see it a few years ago, I'm glad it changed my opinion of it. I don't want to hate any of these movies. I don't want to, and I really don't. Am I going to watch the Brandon Routh Superman? Probably not. They had a good opportunity and they missed it. They missed a good Luthor with Kevin Spacey. They keep missing a good Luthor. Please bring back Daddy Luthor for Alexander Luthor and Justice League and what's going on in cinema. Please give us a Luthor movie. You don't even understand, people. It's the movie that we deserve, and not the movie we want, but the movie we do deserve. And you got to think, man, to me, Lex Luthor's the bad Tony Stark. You know what I mean? Like, he builds these suits and he builds these weapons and he sells them to the bad guys. Tony don't do that, but Luthor does. Creates stuff secretly, whatever, and sells them to whoever he wants to sell them to. and he's, but yet he's got like you pull him with the people, and the people think he's okay, but Superman knows different. And like, give us Luke, just give us Luthor. Call the movie Lex. Call it Luthor, and have Cavill in it. Have Superman in it. I mean, I want Cavill. You definitely missed an opportunity there uh, with Spacey. Catwoman, it's not going to watch that. Precious Phillips or whatever it is. Just not. I don't know what they were trying to do. Just, makes me cringe. But, I mean, I can like Supergirl from the '80s. I can like that movie. I can watch that movie. It's a little long. It's a little boring at times, but still, it's a Supergirl movie, and it's okay. It's okay. I can dig it. But enough of all that, because who knows whenever I'll get into some of my opinions on these things again. I'm sure I will. You're going to hear me speak about these things. But I just wanted to talk about those things this week. There hadn't been a whole lot of news. I guess there's been just more of the underground type news. You had Star Wars trailer and Endgame, and you had a bunch of and Disney launching their paid site, streaming site, and so DC might have got looked over a little bit this week. But boy, they've been hitting the grand slams here lately, and Shazam, like I said, grand slam, love it. But I gotta just shut up. I gotta get off here. But thanks for watching Doomsday T on DC. And like and share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what I need to do, something different. Let me know. I will. And y'all, you got to be good or be good at it. That's all I can tell you. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Good night.